So your credit score is made up of 5 factors, just 5. Now, in my personal opinion, 2 of them are the most important. And I'll show you guys which one I think is the most important. And this is what I tell my clients to mostly focus on, especially if they're coming into my program with bad credit, because if we focus on these 2, typically we're able to see that score go up. Typically, we're able to see things improve if we just focus on these 2. So, if you can guess what the 2 most important factors are, put it in the chat. Because I want to see where we're at and what we actually know. Okay. So the first factor that I want to talk about, payment history. Payment history is so important. Who in here has maybe missed a payment, or as of recently gotten hit with a 90-day late payment on their student loans? Which, by the way, if you have not yet gotten on a payment plan with your student loans and you have been getting hit with late payments, you need to go ahead and get that handled right now. Because in January, if you have not got on a payment plan, and if your student loans are in default, they will start to garnish your wages, and it could potentially be, drum roll, up to 15%. So up to 15% of your paycheck if you let them garnish your wages. So I don't know about you, but I don't want nobody taking my money, right? So payment history, that is 35% of your credit score. And this is why when you miss a late payment, your score can drop up to 100 points. And this is why we need to always make sure, no matter what we do not miss any payments. If you know you're going to miss a payment, you need to contact that creditor or that lender ASAP. Because honestly, things happen. Like, I work with people all the time with their credit, and what I come to find out is that not everybody is financially irresponsible. A lot of these cases that I look at when I'm working with people, it's not because they're total. Now, some of them, they're kind of irresponsible, especially the people that I see filing bankruptcy 2-3 times. Like, that is crazy. That is insane. But for some people, life happens. Life happens, okay? So if life happens and you know life is happening to you, then my recommendation, if you know you're about to miss a payment on your report or on whatever account that it is, whether it's a car loan, a credit, whatever it is, make sure you contact the creditor directly and see if they can maybe push back that payment, maybe see if they can work with you, because the one thing that we do not want to happen is for you to miss a payment on your credit report. So one thing I also want to mention, your payment history accounts for 192.5 total points of your whole credit score. That's a big chunk of points. So that's why I mentioned when you miss that payment, you're losing a lot of these points. And don't keep missing payments, right? We want 100% payment history. So we need to do everything in our power to make sure that we are making these payments on time, okay? All right, let's talk about the next one. So the next factor I want to talk about is your utilization, right? Utilization is very important. This is the amount of credit you have available when it comes to revolving credit, aka credit cards, and how much of it you are actually using. So when it comes to your revolving credit, this is 30% of your score. And this accounts for 165 total points of your credit score. So when it comes to your credit card balances, we do not want these maxed out. The more of the credit limit you're actually using, the less points you'll have access to when it comes to your overall score. Now, when you go on Google and whatnot, they'll say, okay, keep your credit utilization 30% or below. That's great. But ideally, and this doesn't have to be the case all the time, if you know you're about to apply for something and you want the best score possible, make sure it's 10% or below, okay? Make sure we're keeping our credit card balances low. And if you have credit cards, because this is where I see most people get in trouble, that is not your money. It is borrowed money, especially if you're using your credit card and you don't actually have that amount in your checking account. Okay? Now, I understand things happen. Look, I've been in situations too. Okay? We've all been in situations, but we have to have discipline when it comes to these things. Because if we do not have financial discipline, if we do not have systems in place to make sure all these things are handled and intact, then we can find ourselves digging ourselves in a hole that we cannot get out of. Okay? All right. Do we all understand? Do we have any questions about utilization?